Welcome back to another episode of Ikoku Nikki or Journal with Wit. So in the previous episode, we saw Asa's mindset kind of like changing on the entire thing that's happening with her. She kind of equated the entire thing to a curse now, which is definitely a bit different than it was earlier, but I guess it just goes to show how she's going through different stages of the entire process. We also saw a bit of Imiri, right? She's also going through her own thing, which was really cool. So yeah, let's see what's gonna happen next. So if you wanna watch this, Uncut and Blur is also on page in the description. And let's go into Ikoku Nikki, episode 11. set free. Let's see.
やっぱり来てないの、森本。千代？あいつに返したいんだけど、これ。
50 people.
LINE は？知らない。ここでしか話さんから。本の貸し借りしてんだけど。知らないの？先週のこと。ねえ、これ可愛くない？ああ、おぎちゃん好きそう。もう言い方。いいじゃん。
おお。やば。
生きてるって全然いける。仕方とか篠崎態度悪くない？知らねえ。
おお。
別れたらしいよ、橋場と。マジで知らねえ。いいって。千代は偉大志望だったから。だからまあ。
Oh, I love how that scene was done.
折れたっぽい。それから来てないよ、学校。教える？千代の LINE。え？あ、うん。ほらな。むにゃが。あ、ぶねえ。大丈夫？
No.
謝れよ。
Yeah.
謝れって言ってんの。てか、たくみむぎゃっつった。むぎゃはねえわ、むぎゃは。いいから。
Guys, come on.
可愛くねえな。いや、ハリハリ。ちゃんと謝れっつうの。うぜえ。
Yeah, a bit annoying.
やめる。なんで？逃げんのか。
Man, we're seeing like a bunch of things happen on different sides here at the same time.
それってさ、意味なく目つけられて、腹パンされて、走らされて、土下座させられて、それでも黙って耐えんのが俺の野球ってこと？
Hell yeah, man. Stand up for yourself. Hell yeah. She's becoming closer. That's cool.
見てないと思ってた。片目で見てた。あ、日記忘れてた。今日。いや、ちゃんと閉じていくようになったんだな。
Man, that was an incredible scene, by the way. They did that scene so interestingly, with like every single thing happening around the school at the same time from different people, different perspectives. And you can see like some people, like the same people running to the hallway with different people, you know, talking about different stuff. Really cool scene, you know, just showing how everyone's going through something and stuff. That's really cool.
感慨深いものがありましたよ。何それ？ああ、しょうもな。どうなんその展開。
void.
何それ、原文？おいよ、個人的なメモなんだけど、おばさんの悪口語録をね。は？悪口語録？見たい。そんな悪口言う人なの、おばさん。なんか、たまに言うやつが強くて。船舶。知識や考えが薄く、薄っぺらなこと。
Inane.
きつ。ジャーク？ウケる。いつ言うの、ジャークとか。なんかニュース見て言ってた。抗がん。
Impudent. Folly.
卑怯。猛前。
Benighted.
なんて言ってたっけ？姑息、陰険、悪辣。
Her vocab is very extensive.
悪口の玉手箱じゃん。一個思い出した。
Wretched.
何？醜悪。言われたら立ち直れないかも。醜悪とか空虚とかだよね。ねえ、お父さん、お母さんが髪型にケチつけるんだよ。せっかく切ったのに。だって男の子みたいじゃない？ねえ、お父さん。だからお母さんがこの髪型気に入らないの。
まあ、朝の好きにすればいいんじゃないか。
Oh, he's a programmer, I think. Computer engineer. Or computer science engineer.
いない。もういない。昨日変な夢見ちゃってさ。マジどんな夢？あ、森ちゃんおは。
Oh.
見て、あれ。ほら、あれあれ。
Oh.
何その浅い返事。朝とは恋バナしないって言ったよね。やだ、してよ。してして。てかもうすぐバレンタインじゃん。ないの、エミリは。誰かにバレンタインない？ないよ。今年も朝に友チョコあげる。イエーイ。てか私もバレンタインやりたい。マキオさんは？マキオさんにあげればいいじゃん。絶対興味ないでしょ、あの人。
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna even notice that it's Valentine's. Oh, maybe she will.
学園ものとかだとどうしてもそこは避けがたいですよね。
年末には考えてなきゃいけませんしね。
すみません、いつも一方的にいただくばかりで。
いえいえ、どうぞ召し上がってください。この時期チョコ買います？
買いたいけど人混みが。
ですよね。
でもメイがあげたいけどあげる相手がいないとか言って。
めいっ子ちゃんいくつでしたっけ？
間もなく高2。好きなんですよ、その手の話が。めんどくせったらありゃしない。
いい刺激ですね。
その日は幼なじみにチョコ作るから。付き合ってんの？いや、それはねえわ。ホワイトデーにケーキ作ってもらえんの。
It's equivalent, yeah, equivalent exchange, fair trade.
いいな。タクミの分も作ろっか。その代わりホワイトデーね。
Oh, why on White Day?
なんか買ったの？
お茶。限定の煽りにつられて。
君、土産にお茶持ってったら喜ぶ？
いや、好みが強いんで。ベーシックなやつならまあ。
だよな。バカだと思われたくなくて長年聞けなかった。よかった、聞けて。
会社員って昼間外に出られるの？
もちろん。だって今昼休みだよ。
Wait. Oh, I was gonna say, isn't it White Day today? It was White Day 2 days ago, right? So, you know what? We're pretty close to the actual date. White Day was on the 14th of March, right? So, we're actually pretty close.
かわいそうだろ。
Is White Day a thing anywhere else but Japan? I don't think I've ever seen it apart from Japanese media.
いや、ただうまそうに食べるなって。
前に見られると恥ずかしいんだが。
早くあったかくなんないかね。
聞いてねえよ。こんな風に一緒に飯を食える日が来るとは思わなかった。1年前は。
うん。
もう1年。まだ1年。ねえ。あさちゃんは
見てない。
チョコの準備するから月曜はダメ。俺よ調子乗りすぎ。友達に作るし、余ったらあげる。よっしゃー。めっちゃ喜んでるし。お静かに。はーい。ごめんなさい。
And she can't take it.
これあなたに。笠町くんから。そこだー。
Wow!
こっちがあなたので、こっちが私の。これは編集さんから。半分こね。
That's so cute.
大きさ違わない。ひいきって言ってたよ。
You know what's one thing that I really like? I've been thinking about this during this episode, and during the previous episodes as well. I don't think I ever talked about it. I really like how they're doing Kasamachis and I want to say Miyako. It's not Miyako. Makio's relationship, because usually when you see a relationship, like when you see a breakup in a relationship in any media, right? It's usually over something really bad, and whenever a person gets back with a person that they broke up with previously in a piece of media, it usually has like this kind of like toxic connotation or negative connotation to it of like, they are codependent on one another or something along those lines. And I feel like it's very rare that you get to see a pretty realistic depiction of a relationship where two people just needed to take some time off from one another, and then after taking some time off and thinking about things and maybe even maturing a bit more or like growing as people a bit more themselves, they realize that they want to be with one another again, and it can be a perfectly healthy thing to do, right? And I feel like it's very rare to see that in media, because as I said, it usually breakup has this kind of like connotation of something bad happened between them, and if they get back together, then it's usually a toxic thing of some kind of toxic thing. I really like how they're doing the relationship here with Makio and Kasamachi. I think it is a very I think that doesn't get explored often in media, so it's really cool how they're doing it.
マキオちゃんは？マキオちゃん何あげたの？あげないよ。は？あ、先週あげたな。面白いよ。
Ooh.
それバレンタインじゃないじゃん。私に人並みの感情や習慣を求めるのが間違い。それ、開き直りじゃない？違うね。己を知ってるんだね。世界中で私だけ恋してないみたい。朝、誰もが必ず恋するわけではないよ。それが不幸なわけでもない。嘘だ。嘘じゃない。世の中にはいるの。恋を必要としない。
Yeah, you can be aromantic. Nothing wrong with that.
それ、私に関係ないじゃん。ありますよ。世界中で自分に関係ないことなんてない。少なくとも、それが恥ずかしいことでも何でもないと知ることはできるでしょ。何言ってるか全然わかんない。考えろ。はぁ？考えろ考えろ。なんかさ、マキオちゃんって。いや、いい。着替えてくる。あんたほんと考えすぎ。っていうか、繊細すぎ。気取ってるの？
Once again, it's really cool seeing, or really interesting seeing how Asa obviously is feeling because she is like 15, 16, right, in high school. It's like the peak of when she's feeling the societal pressure of, you need to be dating, you need to be with someone. Everyone else is dating, so I need to be dating because, why would I be any different? I don't want to be different. I want to be the same as everyone. So she's feeling that societal pressure, and we see that with Emery or with Asa's influence on Imiri. That's why Imiri is kind of like keeping her distance, because she knows how Asa, Asa is very much feeling that societal pressure of even being normal, dating and stuff like that. And Imiri feels like she's different than the norm because of her feelings and stuff, because of how she's feeling. So she's trying to keep her distance when it comes to the romance talk with Asa. It's really cool or really interesting seeing Asa in being caught up in this kind of like wave, right, of a societal pressure. A very realistic once again, right? And I really like what Makio is saying, right? You don't have to date. Like, you don't have to think about romance. Romance is just one aspect that some people might think about or experience during like this kind of age, but it's not the only one. A lot of people just don't need romance, right? Or aren't interested in it, and that's completely fine. I really like that she's saying those things. I think it's really cool. Conceited? Yeah. I really like that. Is Valentine's girls giving chocolate to boys and then why they boys to girls, or is the other way around? I'm not sure. In Japan. Skype. Ah. They have a girls' night out? Ooh, book signing. She's so goofy. She's so awkward. Yeah. Wow. How many drinks deep was she though? Oh. Help her out. Help her out for a bit, Asa. Mm.
やっぱ悪いことなんじゃない
She's trying to find herself, like, who is she? That's interesting.
どうでもよくないお前にべもないな。あ、いや めんなさい。ついくだらないことをと思っちゃって。ああ、ごめんね。でも、キャラなんてとってもいいと思って。それで後悔したから、私は。
Hmm.
物分かりのいいキャラ、口答えしないキャラ、他人を優先するキャラ、泣きわめいたりしないキャラ、全部後悔したな。だってそんなことば
Oh
っ
yeah,
かり考
yeah,
えてるうちに、自分が本当どうしたいのかわかんなくなっちゃったんだもん。
yep.
だから降りた。朝ちゃん、私はね、あなたが本当にそうしたい時にそうすべきだと思う。いいじゃん、別に。
Yeah,
朝、
I think that's a really fantastic thing to say. I think she's completely right. I think nowadays, especially, people love to label every single thing about every single person and put them in boxes because it makes people easier to understand if you can just put a label on it. And sometimes label can be useful even for yourself, right? You can sometimes it can help you understand yourself if you can label something, right? But I feel like people labels every single thing, and that's just not helpful. That's very detrimental to a person if you try to put a label on every single thing, and it kind of becomes it kind of feels like you just put someone in a box and don't allow them any space to express themselves, to change, and you kind of make them stagnant in a way. So I really like what you're saying. I think you shouldn't care about labels. It's fine if you have a few labels that you feel like are helpful to you to help you understand yourself. But yeah, you definitely shouldn't be constricted by the labels that either you put on yourself or others put on you, right? So I fully agree with her. I think she's saying some really cool stuff here.
目立ったせいで誰かに文句を言われたらぶっ殺せ。
Mm.
いいの、ぶっ殺して。よくないよ、見習わないで。
She
あ
is a
な
bit
た
too
がよ
clear.
く言ってるじゃない。作家なんだからもう少し言葉選べ。八つ咲き、そういうことじゃなくて。はいはいはい、じゃあ歌います。歌、
Oh,
なんかわ
nice.
かんないけど、いいさ。いつか見た風景一歩線とずれ見える流星、いつも見ていたい、過去をつかみ捨てて未来
Ooh, she's a
出会
great
い続
singer.
けて目を私たちは自分の矛盾にばかりおおらかで他人の矛盾を許せずにいる。それに気づいたのはずっ
Mm.
とずっと後のことだ。多分誰もがそんな風で、そしてきっと私はずっとずっとそれに苦しみ続けるだろう。でもそれは多分そんなに悪いことじゃない。今話したい愛すべき日が染まり出す、もう自由にもう自由に飛ぶ。
Oh.
なんかさ、マキオちゃんがいなかったら私軽音とかやんなかったかも。てかやんなかった。それはないでしょ。決めたのはあなたで、どこで誰といても本当にやりたければあなたはそうしたと思うよ。
Mm.
お父さんとお母さんならなんて言ったかな。なんだろうね、考えてみれば。マキオちゃんはさ、マキオちゃんはいつも考えすぎててしんどくないの？あんたほんと考えすぎ。歌います。かもね。でもどうせなら苦しんで 行きたいでしょ。何言ってるか全然わかんない。考えろ。ああ、それ私の。取っといたのに。
Cute. This was a great episode. This was a really, really good episode, man. I really, really like the vibe of this. I like that this episode was a bit more uplifting. I feel like the previous episode also wasn't as necessarily like sad when it comes to the emotions that made you feel, and this one as well. I feel like we are on a bit of an upward trend, because I feel like the episodes prior to this, every single episode just made me extremely emotional and extremely like sad and feel bad for Asa. But I feel like we are on an upward trend, and I'm really liking that. It feels like Asa is getting a bit more positive with everything, which is really cool to see, right? She's getting a bit more confident, as we saw in this episode, which is also great, especially with like, what do you want to be like, and do you want to stand out, do you not want to stand out, and all those things, all those labels. And I really like what Make's friend said, right? Of, you know, who cares about labels? There's no such thing as like, you shouldn't put yourself in like any kind of in any kind of labels. You shouldn't restrict yourself. You should just do what you want to do, right? You should be you. Labels are usually just used for restricting people, oftentimes. So you should not care about that too much, and I really like that. I agree with her wholeheartedly. So I think that was a really cool thing that she said, and I think it's going to help out Asa a lot. Yeah, the entire Valentine's Day shenanigans were fun, right? And I really like how Asa is feeling, or not like, but I really find interesting how Asa is feeling very self-conscious about, you know, am I the same as everyone else? Why am I different? Why am I not interested in romance even though everyone else is? Because we've seen she is really trying to be interested in romance, right? She's feeling very self-conscious about it because she's always trying to talk about it with like Imiri. She's being like, hey, I wish I had like anyone to go out with. Let's talk about romance. She's trying to talk about it because everyone around her is talking about it, right? But we see that she's just not, she doesn't have a crush on anyone or anything along those lines, right? I really like what Makio said as well, because I feel like a lot of the time when we see like stories in around people who are, or characters who are like around this age, puberty age, romance, like most of the time, romance plays a big role in those stories. And I really like the fact that we're getting to see a character here who just doesn't have a crush on anyone, because I feel like that's very normal, but it usually doesn't get talked about just because it's a bit more of a boring story usually, right? Because, you know, a story about someone who's feeling a lot of emotions towards like someone and stuff is usually a lot more fun to talk about. So I really like the fact that we're getting to see Asa here, who isn't feeling any of those romantic feelings, right? And she's even feeling a bit alienated because of it. I really like that. I think it's very interesting, right? And it's very realistic, because as I said, I feel like there's a lot of people back during high school, I would say, like, honestly, a big portion of the people that I knew during high school just weren't interested in dating whatsoever, right? At all. Like, not even a single time during the 4 years of high school that I was in. So yeah, I really liked seeing that, right? So yeah, anyways, this was a fantastic episode, and I'm excited to see how the final 2 episodes are gonna go. By the way, the final 2 episodes, I'm gonna not release episode 12 next week. I'm gonna delay it by a week because I'm on a bit of a break. So I'm gonna release the final 2 episodes together as one upload the week after it, so when episode 13 actually drops, because this is gonna have 13 episodes if I'm not mistaken. So when episode 13 drops, so that's gonna be in exactly 2 weeks from today, I'm gonna release a double episode as opposed to episode 12 and 13 separately. So just a heads up. Anyways, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.